Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Y'all podcast with your hosts, Liam, Nathan, and Storm. We cover a variety of topics divided into RPG classes. I cover the Sorcerer class, Storm covers the Warrior class, and Nathan covers the Bard class. I believe today's first subject, sort of broad. I'd put it under Sorcerer. This is politics. This is
a big
news.
one too, I would say.
The Pope's death. Now, I'll first say I didn't think after you guys probably remember he was sick a few weeks ago.
I don't pay
think
attention.
He was actually going to die this year. After he got better, I thought he was going to go on for a few more years.
No. See, he got better and then got double pneumonia.
Is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah, and then he met with our vice president and then died hours later.
I thought that was the craziest part. Yeah. It's kind of a crazy
coincidence. I was seeing mixed things. Did he die on Easter or the Monday after Easter?
No, he died the next day.
Okay, so he died Monday. Okay, I was a bit concerned when the Pope died on Easter Sunday, all right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess depending on time zones.
That's true. That's true. I was a bit concerned at first. I was like, well, that's not a good sign.
It is definitely an unusual day for it to happen.
No, but he made it through the holy day, okay? He made it.
Yeah. Definitely weird timing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a fun topic.
I want to also bring up some of the reactions. I thought there were definitely some distasteful reaction. I want to talk about reactions to, somebody dies. That's maybe not the best time to, bring up their politics, Even if you, disagree with them, you should probably be like, don't really No.
That's the perfect time to bring up their politics because they can't argue with them. You know what I mean? That's the best time. Dead men tell no tale.
The best way to win an argument is to argue against dead people. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, that's the right time. That's the right time.
Why would you ever argue with living people? That's
exactly.
You got to punch down, and they're already 6 feet under.
Yep.
How much more further down can you get?
12 feet.
Don't know. I guess 12 feet. Double dead.
At least double. At least double.
Do you think we should bury people deeper?
Yeah, at least.
Why do we bury people?
What do you think?
Just mass cremation?
Yeah. Why not?
I guess it's the having a place to go aspect.
Okay, well the Japanese do it right. They cremate them and then make a shrine in their house that they can go and pray to them.
I think the problem is people don't want that in their house because Americans don't like the idea of death in their house.
Most people's houses are built over fucking grave sites.
I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying how most people operate.
Have you... Okay, I don't know how to search this up, but I know there's this thing... There's this one religious tradition where instead of coffins, people are put into pots. And I don't remember what it was, but it's a thing. People, instead of a coffin, they have a pot. It's a real thing. I don't know how to search for it.
I know there was
death urn.
How about the dildo one?
That is a crazy one.
There was a store that would make a glass dildo for you in which you could insert your lover's ashes if you would want to. I mean, that's a pretty good way to remember.
See, there's one I actually liked, which was you still bury them like you normally would, but then you plant a tree on top of it. So their body's nutrients become the thing to help the tree grow better. So it's like the dead person becomes the tree in your backyard.
In your backyard?
I have heard that.
What do you mean in your backyard?
You don't plant trees in your backyard?
Why are you burying them in your backyard?
So let's say it's like a family plot. You've had it for years and years.
Okay, that's a little different than your backyard. That's a little bit different.
Yeah, but I guess if it's like a neighborhood, you probably won't get permission to
having enough land to have a family grave plot and burying your your loved ones in your like suburban backyard.
No. I think that's ideal. Could you imagine like a 50-year-old white woman and they just see people bringing in a casket? That would be hilarious. She would freak.
Yeah, I would freak out. I'd
That would
really
be
freak out.
hilarious.
I think it would be even better if it's one of those places where you live onto like the back of a pond and there's houses across it, and you're sitting at your house looking out over the pond. You just see a whole ceremony going on.
Funeral procession. They could do one of those Viking burials on. You know, all the neighborhoods these days have these big retention drainage ponds.
Yeah.
These artificial ponds. Do a Viking burial on one of those.
Do you?
That would
I
be
mean,
cool.
do you think you could if like you obviously go through all the correct like
Legal things.
yeah, like making sure the fire department's there, making sure you probably need an ambulance because you are shooting a bow, and I would assume they'd be like, hey, you just have to have one. Or, like
I
at least
think
have
the biggest
EMS.
I think the biggest one would be the wildlife conservation, because you are putting a boat into the water.
True.
Like the boat will sink, but they do that
no
anyway.
Way, there's no way they'd let you just leave a burned up dead body in a like a neighborhood pond.
See,
I
the
don't think
body
you'd never
part,
get
the
approved
body
for that.
part, no. But
No,
like
the body's
boat
no.
thing, you definitely could with just the boat.
But if you make like a wooden raft,
you want to light a boat on fire.
if you make a wooden raft so it all burns into ash, yeah. What would be what? How far could you go? Like,
you're just talking about committing arson now. No, I don't think.
No. You go through the correct channels to get permission. If you can even get permission.
So the problem is they're not going to give you permission because it's ridiculous.
All right, now, do you think you could get permission from the city, but not the HOA?
Well,
neither of them are going to give you permission.
Neither
now,
of them
obviously,
would give you
if you're saying, well, what if everybody decided it was a good idea and let me do it? Well, then obviously, you answered your own question there, but they would never do that.
See, my thing with the wildlife conservation people is they drop boats in the water for habitats for fish and stuff and coral reefs, but that's in the ocean. I don't think your neighborhood will just let you burn a boat and drop it into the water.
Those aren't wooden boats. Actually, speaking of that, there's a thing where you can have your ashes like turned into like reef construction stuff, something like that.
That sounds pretty cool.
All right, bad news.
I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Or maybe I made that up.
It is technically illegal to burn a body on a ship or in a pyre. So, in most U.S. states.
Okay, but where?
What? You said most.
What body of water?
Any. It's just illegal to burn a body on a boat or in a pyre.
But you said most states.
Part?
So, where's it legal?
I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't say. Oh, so while open air cremation, the core of the tradition, is not widely permitted, it is legal in Crestone, Colorado, which allows around 12 cremations per year.
That's
that's just an open air one, so it would be a pyre instead of on a boat, which still works, but
can we burn our family members like witches?
No. I don't think you're allowed to do it. Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to do that one. I think that might be murder.
What if I can confirm the turning your ashes into reef materials is a real thing. That's confirmed.
That's pretty pog.
That's pretty cool.
That's a good one.
See, as long as you're going to do something useful with like either donate to science or like do that kind of stuff, like where it's actually being used again, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan of just cemeteries because it's like you can never use that land for anything other than that. Until like thousands of years from now.
You just forget it's there and they get built over.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, people act like cemeteries are permanent, but they're really not.
No, they
like a few.
You get about 100 years out of one.
They do. They also move them sometimes. That is a thing, though. Like
that is true.
Exhume the whole cemetery and move the bodies all somewhere else.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I have
do
seen.
That
I've heard
in
that.
like bigger cities, if they really need the space, they'll do that.
All right, well, we should probably get back to the Pope. Yeah. We gotta go off topic there.
You had something about betting?
Yeah, so there is a baseball player who, his name is Nick Castellanos, and for some reason, whenever there is like someone important dies or there's like an international like news thing, he hits a home run every time. So
Well, how often does he hit home runs?
I don't know. I don't pay attention really to baseball. But so Pope Francis passed away, obviously, and his bet went to plus 625 points to hit a home run. Which essentially was like, it means if you put $10 in and he does it, you get $73 out.
Damn.
So I was like,
sounds to me like some people just don't understand statistics.
No.
People who are like relatively like who could call important.
It's not the right way to bet, but
no. Or think about like baseball or people dying. It's like I mean, I'm sure there are times he hits a fucking home run and like nobody important has died, or you could like stretch the definition, be like, oh, this celebrity in Armenia died. Oh, that's the one. That's his home run death.
So supposedly it is a bit of a meme bet, just because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Every time something happens where it's either major news event or a noteworthy death, he hits a home run. So no one's like actually like, oh, I'm gonna put money on this and actually expect it. But it's like, and something happened.
They are.
Yeah, but
right?
people, it's like, oh, it's more of a meme bet more than like a serious bet. But it is, of course, still a serious bet because you're putting money.
People that do sports betting are stupid enough to really believe it.
Nah,
probably.
A lot of people are stupid enough.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so at a point there was 3 times as many bets on Castellanos as any other player on BetMGM.
Funny.
Yeah, that's how big it is. It's like, it's absurd because he's just a baseball player. I mean, he's going to hit home runs. It doesn't actually involve the person dying or anything happening, but it seems to happen a lot, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that one's bullshit.
I do also have a topic about the Pope's death.
Oh, really?
And it's about the 900-year-old ancient prophecy about the Pope.
Oh, really?
It is mostly a conspiracy theory, but it's had multiple books throughout the ages on it, and it's a prophecy that's 900 years old.
Okay. What is it?
So the prophecy is basically saying that it's from Saint Malachi or whatever. I'm gonna butcher these names because they're all.
I'm gonna say it's
Roman.
probably Malachi.
It's probably Malachi. The last pope will be referred to as Peter the Roman.
Okay.
That's their prediction. The interpretation of that is that some people think that it's open to debate, and Peter the Roman refers to Pope Francis. But it could also refer to the Pope after him, because if you look at Vatican, there's only like 213 frames for pictures of the Pope to be up, and they don't put a picture up until the previous Pope dies, and Pope Francis is going to fill the last slot they have open. So that's also a part of the prediction, is they only predicted 213. Otherwise, they would have put more frames up on the wall.
I get Mayan doomsday calendar vibes from that, where it's like, oh, the calendar's gonna run out. It's the end of the world.
Yeah.
And, it turns out they just.
I think that was a lot of it.
Yeah.
But also in accordance with the Bible, that no one talking about Matthew 24:36, that no one knows the day or the hour, not even the angels, the Son, or the Father.
Yeah.
Or no, only the Father knows. So only like the highest power of God knows when the end of the world would be. So It is all speculation, because it's people predicting almost 1,000 years out that society will end.
That's true. Actually, because of that verse, that makes me think that like the only time you can guarantee it won't happen is when someone's predicting it.
Yes.
So I wonder if it was obviously 900 years ago where that prophecy was stated, or you're saying. I wonder, because obviously the like life, how long people live has increased since back then. I'm just curious, from back then to now, like if it was 900 years ago, people only lived to what, 40, 50? I don't know the exact day or age, but I wonder how much longer and how many more years the 213 have lasted than what they thought it was going to 900 years ago.
Yeah,
that is a good.
I just
point,
wonder
'cause
if
they
it
could've-
somehow lines up with the Mayan or the 2012 end of the days one. That would be funny.
or Y2K.
Y2K was just people thinking computers weren't going to be able to work more than anything else.
Yeah, but they also did say that world was going to end because computers
Yeah,
Which-
what?
could still happen.
Good.
So, looking at the average ages of popes that died, it is pretty normal for them to die, to like live into their 70s.
Really? Okay.
Die around there.
Even back like 90
Yeah.
years ago?
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause, I mean,
Wow.
you know, they were well taken care of. And the
I
whole thing,
guess.
like, everybody died in their 40s 1,000 years ago.
I guess, yeah. I mean, obviously, that's more
Most
for.
people died in their ones.
Yes.
True.
The first, wasn't it like the first 3 years were like the hardest or something like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then like up to 18. And once you're past, like once you're into adulthood, you're pretty much good.
Yeah, unless you get some
Yeah,
random sickness, and then you're like, well,
yeah. Unless you get AIDS, you're basically good.
and well, we all know how prevalent AIDS was back then. Everyone.
No, it didn't exist. That's a
They
recent
hadn't
thing.
started fucking monkeys yet, so that hadn't happened. That's where one of them's actually from. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
It's a real thing.
I do know what you're talking about, and I don't know any of the like anything behind it, so I will not comment on that one.
Okay, so apparently HIV is thought to come from people who ate chimps.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense.
That's better.
Yeah,
I'll
So,
say that's better.
that's
so they just got
better.
they just got monkey disease.
Yeah, they just ate some bad monkey meat. So,
I mean, we
can
all
you
done
imagine
that.
eating an animal and you get a fucking STD from it. That sucks.
Well, they didn't
Well,
know what an STD was.
Well,
True.
I guess so. But then people would think like, oh, he fucked the monkey. He fucked the monkey. No, I just ate it. I just ate it.
So instead of getting like mad cow disease, you just get an STD instead.
Dude, that would suck.
Ugh.
No, I didn't. You went to
I
Thailand,
didn't
you
fuck
came
the
back with an
cow, I didn't
STD.
fuck the cow. It was bad meat.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah, it
See,
would.
a Seinfeld episode, Jerry gets a new STD from an animal.
I feel like that
Kramer
could be a
would be the one
Seinfeld.
to do that.
I feel like that could be a Seinfeld episode, honestly.
Jerry would not do it. It would definitely be Kramer.
Well, no, they didn't actually fuck the animal. They got it from eating meat. They got it from bad meat.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Kramer would be the one to eat the weird animal meat.
Well, no, it was just like a cow. It didn't have to be a weird animal. It's funny if it's like not who you would expect.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
Kramer gets like a monkey super AIDS. Okay, nobody's surprised. Really, they do it to George. Actually,
yeah, they would.
it was bad meat. It was bad meat.
I could honestly see that being a whole episode, and that would be so funny.
Are
And then his mom like disowns him.
we just
She knows
making
she did
like
terrible.
semi fanfic level of Seinfeld episodes now? Is that what we're doing here?
No.
Is that what this podcast has evolved to?
No. I think anybody else have something to say about the Pope's death?
Well, you wanted to talk about people like memeing his death a bit, I think.
Oh yeah, I just thought it was in bad taste when someone dies.
You see, I personally go by, don't be sad for him, be happy for him, and because he's
Be happy
returned to his to the Almighty. He is happy now and all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that doesn't mean you have to shit on him.
No, don't shit on him. I'll agree with you there, but
That's what I'm
like,
saying. You don't have to
but-
shit on him.
like, it's just don't don't be sad, but like funerals are like celebrate someone's life. It's why I love black
I
funerals.
agree. I don't.
They
get why
celebrate life. They
people
don't
are-
mourn the death. They celebrate their life, and I think that's
Yeah, I
such
don't
a
get why people are sad
better-
at funerals. Like you should be happy for them.
yeah.
Yeah, but like when the queen died, people weren't really memeing the queen; they were memeing her husband.
I mean,
Because
her
Charles is a fucking idiot.
Charles isn't her husband. Charles is her son.
yeah.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Well, Liam, you never know over there.
Well,
you know what I
it
mean?
it is the royal family. You never know.
You never know.
You never know with the royal family. I mean, that's kind of their whole thing, isn't it? Just a little
Yeah,
bit.
You gotta keep it.
Just a
gotta
little
keep it
bit pure.
No, not these ones. The British
they-
ones sort of bred outside a good bit.
See, they would breed out and then bring it back in.
Oh no, I'm not. They didn't have because they always had like a lot of little nobles and
Yeah.
foreign nobles. They're like half German. A lot of people don't. They're half
Really?
German.
Half German? I didn't know it was
Yeah.
half.
They're they're called Windsor now.
Yeah.
Their last name used to be Saxe Coburg Gotha.
Wow.
Very German.
Don't think you
And
can
then they
get
changed that during World
much
War I.
more German. Well,
Yes, much more German.
don't know how. Yeah, don't know how much more German you could get. Really.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Yeah. Did not know they were half German.
Is that the end of topics about death in general now?
I guess.
I think
Oh,
so.
so
All right.
sad.
Who's got the next thing?
I guess we'll bring it away from that. We'll talk about some farmers markets, the general idea.
You had some farmers markets
I don't
experiences
know why that's
you wanted to talk about?
that is the funniest transition ever to me.
You just gotta pull the bandage off.
Wow, yeah.
So, I have went to 2 farmers markets in the last 2 days.
Love you, farmers market.
One in my neighborhood and one in the main area of downtown, big city. So, the one in my neighborhood had live music. They had some tents set up so people could sell some things.
Kind of a farmer's market, yeah, selling things that you've made.
So they also had a single food truck.
Oh no.
They normally have like 3 or 4.
Okay, how big is your neighborhood?
Currently I think there's like 500 homes.
Oh God.
But there's plans of like over 1,000, I think.
How many people were at the food or not food market? Wow. Farmers market?
Not enough for every house.
Okay. Wow.
But
You still probably need more.
This is also like the prelude until they open up the new facilities in my neighborhood. Because we're going to become an agri-hood, which is we farm on like in our neighborhood. We're actually not farmland.
What does that mean?
We're going to grow crops in our neighborhood.
It's not completely residential. It's also it's residential agriculture. No,
it's not agriculture yet. They're still
what
building
kind of crops. Like what do you mean? What's the plan here?
Did you?
No one knows yet.
Right?
They just,
is it zoned correctly?
It is zoned. It is zoned correctly.
Okay. That would be bad if it wasn't.
Say, Liam.
Like, have you seen the plans for this, or is this just like a word they throw? They say, "Oh, we're gonna be an agri neighborhood."
So it is a word right now, but they are building a new barn. That's where the farmers market will go, and then like they have like I think it's 3 acres of land, which isn't a lot, but it's 3 acres of land to grow crops that only get sold in our neighborhood.
I mean, like I would assume it's gonna be like tomatoes and shit like that. It's not going to be wheat and corn.
No, it's probably going to be the easier crops to grow that grow pretty quickly. It's probably going to be stuff like that.
It's just a communal garden, and more than that.
Is it a communal garden, or is there someone going to be hired to run the farm?
Yeah, I guess that matters.
It's going to be a lot of volunteer work, from what I've been told. So it will be like there will be a farmer, but like everybody in the neighborhood will like volunteer.
Huh.
That's like the plan.
Like I've definitely heard of community gardens before, but that's like, a small little plot where it's like, oh, you can grow, like 50-ish tomato plants or something like that. 3 acres seems crazy for that.
No, this is going to be like the supply of the neighborhood with crops if people want it. And they'll sell it.
Do you have an HOA?
Has to. This is an HOA thing.
It is an HOA, but their rules are kind of weird. It's not like a typical HOA because we've had like 5 builders since we moved to this neighborhood. Okay. So the HOA changes all the time.
Yeah.
But the current one is owned by Lennar Homes. They're the people who are currently building the houses and the new barn and all that kind of stuff. Terrible builders, by the way. I will out them. Terrible builders. all the new homes are getting so many complaints because they refuse.
We're having beef with Lamar Homes. All right.
We got to cease and desist.
Hey,
So
you know what? That would be pretty cool. I won't lie.
that would be episode 2, cease and desist.
That would be fun. I won't. Yeah, that'd be cool. I would frame that.
So that's like the eventual plan, but currently it's very small, just a neighborhood thing, which it was okay other than the one food truck, which was like a lobster food truck.
Oh God. Oh
What?
And it's-
God.
Every detail you bring up just amazes me more and more. And a lobster food truck? The fuck is that? What?
So they sell seafood, lobster, mac and cheese, like
What? Lobster and
I
mac and cheese, my
assume, like,
favorite
lobster
combo.
Rolls?
That's what
They
I
have
would
to be
assume.
lobster rolls, right?
I didn't look at it, so I can't tell you. I just know
okay.
they do sell lobster.
Is that like their main theme? The lobster?
Yeah, it says on the side of their thing lobster.
Fuck.
That is wild.
So-
I mean, we have like it's not a farmer's market. We just have like a food truck Thursday. We used to. I don't know if we still do it in our neighborhood, where we have like 7 food trucks that come. But it's
that's
also for
normally-
100 houses, most
Yeah,
of which
so-
don't have people that live in them because it's just
Yeah.
a vacation home to them.
So that's kind of what our neighborhood started with. And there's normally, like I said, like 4 or 5 food trucks there. But this weekend they only had 1. And,
That's wild to me.
but you could like people bring alcohol there and just hang out with their other neighbors and stuff.
Little day drinking.
So I mean, it was
You
after
bashing
work.
day drinking, Liam?
It
Don't
starts
they?
at,
Do they have them in paper baggies? Like, what's the rule here?
so there's
No.
not really a rule
Open carry
unless you're
right there.
unless you're at the pool. And at,
Is,
and our,
oh,
at our
okay,
neighbor,
okay, so is open? How does open bottle law work? Like, is that
Okay.
just like a? Is that just like a city statute, or is that like a state thing?
It's, I think, city, because I know Charleston is not. You cannot carry open containers. You're not allowed to walk
Yeah.
the street while drinking. I know Savannah is.
Yeah.
I've been walking down the street with 2 different drinks in my hand. That was a lovely time. But it's weird because those booze pops, they're not considered alcohol. You can walk around with those, no
Yeah.
issue.
What?
even
How?
though
They're considered food. The mayor made them
They-
food.
Because you froze it?
Yup.
yeah, and you can't freeze booze, so
Not really
Ah.
frozen.
so
Also,
So
they just
when-
have Jello shots because that's apparently food too.
it is
What the
food.
fuck?
So that's
So
what,
basically,
like,
if I thicken the alcohol, then I'm all good to go.
so if you ever
I think
go
Boost-
out if you go out downtown to the booze pop stand, they just sell it like at night
Yeah.
when they close off the
at
street.
night. What do you mean? I've seen people ordering Jello shots at 8:30 in the morning on a
That's-
Thursday.
That's a little early.
That's what I thought.
I saw someone in my neighborhood driving around in a golf cart that had a wrap on it, and the wrap said it's 5 a.m. somewhere. So is the
Yeah, that's-
implication that at any time of day they could be day drinking and driving
Yes,
on their
yes.
fucking golf cart? I thought that was
Absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
Hey y'all, I drink and drive in my golf cart.
Golf
at
carts are
3
you're-
a.m.,
It's
3
not
p.m..
considered drinking and driving on a golf cart.
Yeah, that shit's ridiculous. Those things are as big as some cars. Like they get
Yeah.
fucking big.
Dude, I love, like, you just go to the golf cart and you go to a golf course and you're just like driving a golf cart, which, by the way, requires in most places, like, you have to have a license to drive. And they just go,
Really.
yeah, here's a cocktail you can drink and drive.
Fuck.
You're just like, what the fuck?
also,
They let like little kids drive golf carts in my neighborhood,
they're
like elementary
ch-
grade school
Yeah.
kids. It's
They're
crazy. Like they don't know the
legally,
fucking
like
rules of the road.
legally speaking, they're not allowed to do.
Yeah, legally speaking, you're supposed to have a license to drive them.
But most
I know
never
golf
seen that
carts,
enforced.
golf courses
yeah,
do.
it's not highly enforced. It is enforced in our neighborhood.
Hmm.
But
So what I'm hearing is I need to start calling CPS on some people.
no, not CPS. You just call the cops.
I mean, they're letting their kids drive a golf cart around without a light. I guess I could start with the cops, but I
You
don't know
start
if
with the
will do
cops, and if-
anything.
No, the cops will give them a fine. But if you see it happen again, then you call CPS.
I got you.
You
You're
got to
gonna
keep a tab
snitch?
on all the neighborhood kids who drive the golf carts.
Liam's gonna end up becoming a Karen. Is gonna be the male
Yeah.
Karen. and no one's gonna like him.
Is it not dangerous to have like a fucking 9-year-old kid driving a golf cart around on a 20-mile-per-hour fucking road? Like, the fuck is going on?
Like, yes, but most people don't care.
You're in a you live
People get in accidents with them all the time. It's crazy.
You literally live in a
golf
on a golf course. It's gonna happen, Liam. It's like regardless.
They don't need to be letting the little kids drive around on them.
They don't need to, but they do.
And 5 years ago, this was not a thing. This is a very
I definitely feel like it's definitely more of a newer thing. Like my dad.
I saw someone driving down East Bay in a golf cart one time, like a 40-mile-an-hour road. I was like, what
dude,
the fuck are you doing?
I hate the golf carts on fucking downtown. Why? I drive downtown I drive downtown. I hate the people who are in the golf carts or on fucking skateboards and bikes.
Hey, you know who it is? It's the Northerners who have moved here.
I thought it was like college students, like rich.
No, it's all the Northerners who have moved here.
Yeah,
who are used to driving golf carts in their small towns.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yes. Because a bunch of the people in my neighborhood who have golf carts are all from up north.
Oh.
Like I would get one in my neighborhood because where the pool's located just makes sense instead of taking an actual car. But like I wouldn't be driving on the fucking normal road.
Walk there, you fat American pig.
It's like a mile and a half.
That's a mile and a half isn't a walkable distance.
Not when I'm going to the pool to swim.
No, I can't walk a mile and a half. No, I need an electric vehicle to get me there.
See, from my house to our pool is like half a mile. I'll walk that.
But a mile and a half is too much.
Yeah.
She's crazy, dude. American moment.
I also have to walk by a river with alligators. So
they're not going to attack you? What, are you going to get chumped up by an alligator? Are you actually afraid of the alligators getting you?
No, not at all. No, I also don't. Oh well.
To be honest, to get killed by an alligator, you got to be kind of stupid, right?
Yeah.
They don't come after you.
No.
You have to you have to crawl into their mouth.
They would either have to be incredibly starving, or you would have to like anger them.
Yeah.
Mess with their baby. Do that, you're gone.
I remember a kid in Disney World got eaten by an alligator once.
Yeah, but that's because his parents weren't watching him, and he just... Yeah. And there's signs that say alligators live here.
I thought it was funny.
And the parents weren't watching their kid, and they tried to sue. It was a Disney property, too.
Yeah.
Now...
It was a Disney resort.
So child getting eaten by an alligator, funny. But joking about the Pope's death, not. Liam?
Well, the kid knows a
little bit of double standards, just saying.
Okay, if the Pope got eaten by an alligator, we'd make fun of it.
That's fair.
See,
hold on. The way he died, not the death itself, but the method.
Okay, yeah, I understand that.
Okay, yeah.
Can you imagine if any world leader got eaten by a fucking like wild animal? That'd be crazy.
Oh, I know the exact one who would do it.
Who?
Who do you think I'm thinking of right now?
Like feeding someone or like getting eaten by one?
Honestly, both is the same person in my blood. Who do you think I'm thinking of?
I have no idea who you think would get eaten by a wild animal.
I think you know. You just don't want to admit it.
I have no idea. Are you trying to like
goad
me into like saying someone?
Maybe.
I would think some sort of like, I don't know, African leader on some sort of safari or something.
It would definitely be on a safari.
American one in a jungle.
It would definitely be on a safari or something like that. Like any world leader getting eaten would be on a safari. 100%.
So do you actually have someone in mind?
No, I really was trying to goad you into saying someone.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't going to say anyone. I can't.
He's stupid, but not that stupid.
I can think of someone I'd want to get eaten by a wild animal, but none that I could see it realistically happening.
You see how he didn't deny that?
I know.
So, going back to the topic we were starting with.
Right. Fucking farmers market.
Farmers markets.
Hold on. I want to say I looked up AgriHood. Dumbest like shit I've ever seen. This is some like yuppie.
Yeah, you want to give out the actual definition?
What the fuck? Yeah, hold on. AgriHood here. Is a neighborhood or planned community that incorporates a working farm or community garden as a central feature. Now the pictures of it, that sounds all nice. The pictures of it are very dumb. It's like you got this I don't know, this like small plot of farmland in the middle of a neighborhood, and you've got all these like old white people and like yuppie white people playing around in the dirt. Doesn't
Yeah.
look like any sort of real
Oh no,
serious farming.
it's
It
definitely a
gives me the
millennial thing.
same vibe as what's the term, like it's like green architecture, like green cities where they're like, oh, what if
Oh
we
my
planted
God.
trees on the skyscrapers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot like that. It's a lot
yeah.
like that.
So I like buildings that have greens on the rooftop, right? Like where it's like, oh, like a sitting area, right? Where like
Yeah,
it's purely just an aesthetic thing. It's not like this save the environment. Oh,
Yeah, if
that
you look
bothers
up
me.
green architecture, you'll get like concept pictures of skyscrapers covered in trees. And the whole thing is just ridiculous because, okay, you gotta bring the dirt up there. The trees weigh a lot. The water weighs a ton to bring up there. The whole maintenance of the thing is going to be hugely expensive. And trees and buildings in general don't really mix because the roots and the vines and everything is just really bad for
Yes.
structural integrity. So it's like dreamed up by people who don't know anything about, like, I don't know, a building lasting a long time or like trees or anything. It's like
I know
a tree
all
isn't
about
as light
vines.
as a leaf. Shit's crazy.
Vines and buildings do not mix.
You don't want to cover your multi-million-dollar skyscraper in a bunch of trees?
It's not good for the building.
It's really gotta be like
It's
done
so dumb.
perfectly
The
to
concept
be
pictures are
well.
so fucking dumb.
It really is.
It's like how like what are you gonna do when you can't maintain it and they all start like either growing wild or dying? You've got this like horrible,
which
ugly
will
building.
happen for most of them.
Look,
yeah, exactly.
They're just going for the I can't speak. I'm done.
Post hippopotamus.
Yep. Post hippopotamus
design.
Look. Yep. That's the word. I can't speak, so I'm done.
Society's declining. We'll just cover the trees and buildings, the buildings with trees to start with. Maybe we should cover trees with buildings. That's an idea.
I think that's what we do.
Like Wookiees.
That's what we, oh, you mean like treehouse?
You mean like
what? I would.
Isn't a tree house a building? A tree covered with a building?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think.
I was thinking deforestation.
Yeah, same.
Oh.
I think we should
building on the tree.
I think we should turn the redwood forest into a city.
Low income housing. Just carve them out on the inside.
No. I think the redwood city would be a tier city. The higher up you go, the higher your worth.
Yeah, if you're on the ground, you're just a peasant.
Yeah. Well, not even.
Yeah.
Lesser than that.
Whatever that word would be.
We don't need to say it out loud, but we all know what it is.
All right, so can we move on to the second farmers market topic?
Wait, you have a second one?
Yeah, but because I went to one yesterday, now I'm
right.
the downtown one. So today I went to the downtown one. One of my coworkers works there. You went to go see them. It is incredibly small and way worse than my neighborhood one.
It used to not be.
It's so. You know how the square is?
Yeah.
I don't want to give out street names, even though Liam already did.
You can give out street names.
So it's Marion Square.
Okay.
So it used to be the whole square had a whole tent setup. It is on two sides of it now.
Yeah,
what?
Really?
So it's incredibly small. One side is like actual produce, and the rest of it is just people selling things like jewelry, art, and that kind of stuff. Honey. Yeah. So that makes sense. That's typical farmer's market.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's incredibly small now.
Do they still have like all the food stuff in there or no?
So they had a crepe station,
all right,
2 places selling pastries, a place that makes fresh pasta, but they don't cook it there. They just sell the pasta.
Okay, that doesn't count. In my for what I mean.
They had a coffee truck there.
Okay.
And that's it.
What the hell?
Damn.
And the Moe's that's there doesn't exist there anymore.
It's a
refuel.
Refuel now.
Oh yeah, that's really nice. Okay, yeah, the fucking refuel.
So the only food that's over there now is Chipotle.
Ew.
And the person I went to talk to, because they work every Saturday there, and they were talking about the Chipotle, and they don't eat meat. They eat vegan a lot,
Fair.
and they either get the tofu or just veggie bowl. They had neither,
What?
and she already paid for it online.
Bruh.
And she's like, "Can I at least get my money back?" And they're like, "No."
What the hell? That's crazy.
That's a small claims court then.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
She wasn't gonna fight it for like $15.
Oh, I'm petty enough I would.
Yeah, I think she would, but she didn't. But like that farmers market is so shitty
That's
now.
actually really disappointing. Like ours, like the one that we go to sounds better. It's at my brother's school, and it's not like a crazy big, but it's just has stuff to do. It has like 40-ish tents.
See, I think all the farmers market stuff has moved down to the flea market over in
I've
Latin.
been to that one, yeah.
I think most of that
bigger.
stuff has moved there because there's bigger, more space.
Yeah.
And it's
more
the same
people coming from like a wider distance.
Yeah. So I want to go back to there because I haven't been there in a long time.
I've
but
never
the one
been.
time I was gonna go, somebody didn't wake up in time, which was Declan, because he was like, "All right, let's wake up early. I'll pick you up. Let's go."
Oh, you guys want to go to the flea market together?
Yeah, and then he was asleep until 1:00. Everyone pretty much leaves the flea market at around 1.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
So I was up since 8:00 that morning, messaging him like every couple hours, but like, "Hey, are we still going?" Knowing he's asleep, just the hope that it will wake him up at some point. And yeah, he does not wake up.
That's funny.
Oof.
All right, so that's it for me on farmers markets. Just the couple I've been to have not been very good.
All right.
Yeah, they kind of suck nowadays.
Yeah, it might just be a dying thing.
Yeah.
True. Storm, I think you're up. What do you have for us?
Oh, you want to talk about Oblivion? That came out.
You can talk about Oblivion.
Well, Oblivion Remastered came out earlier this week. Fun game. Arguably, was my first RPG I ever played. My favorite one, arguably, and also the best Elder Scrolls game out there that I've played. It also is what made Bethesda what it is today, really, too. But I want to talk about the AI side of it, because with FSR and the frame generation, it makes it possible for a lot more people to play that game at a decent frame rate than would have been allowed to play it had they not added that and had not had AI to be able to do it. It is fantastic. You've experienced it, I know, Liam. Nathan, you don't have it, so you have not. And I also use it, and it is so amazing. I love it so much.
Now, I would say that this, like the DLSS thing, is actually just a way for developers to just...
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly, yes. Yes, and people do say this.
Yeah, it's a bad thing. Like, they've been getting less and less optimized.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Like, turn on the DLSS, and now they're going to be like, turn on the AI frames. You don't need to optimize it.
But I do love it in this game, because I went from playing on low settings, 4K, so... Yeah. Getting like 60 FPS, dropping down to about 30, 45 at points, just stuttery, to playing on ultra, getting 100 FPS. It is so good.
Now, hear me out. What if the devs just made the game work?
Okay,
I know we can't really expect that from them, from any of them these days, but like that.
I give a slight break to the Oblivion because of what they've done with their engine, which is it's
a pretty unique situation.
Just 2 of them. There's zero way it was ever going to run well.
Yeah, if there's any game that had an excuse to be unoptimized.
It's a game running 2 different engines, one built in 2009 and the other built 2 years ago or so.
Oh, yeah. So they are running 2 separate engines simultaneously.
It is using the old Oblivion engine to run all of the, how the game works, essentially. And then it's being ported to Unreal Engine 5.2, which is then putting a beautiful gloss over it to make it look pretty. pulling from old assets and making them look good, essentially. So it's just it's double dipping almost for some things.
So, are they gonna double dip with the next Elder Scrolls title, or is that
No,
actually gonna be?
that will be probably just be all on Unreal.
I mean, is that
Okay.
confirmed?
No, but it will probably be. If this is technically, I think, just a testing to see how people feel about the Unreal Engine instead of just doing their in-house engine, which is what they've done for every other game. But that costs money to make an engine and upkeep an engine and all of that, making sure it runs for all your games, versus just going, here, Unreal and whoever, Epic, take $1 million and let us use Unreal Engine for our game. It's just monetary. It's just better to run it that way. And also, so the other thing about Oblivion, people are saying, oh, it's not moddable. Bethesda said there's no plans for mods, but in the files and on console, there's just a spot for purchasing things like mods. So mods are going to come. There's also, like, in files as well, the creation kit, like a new creation kit coming, apparently. So
they're
we'll
just
see.
lying.
It looks like they're just lying for a bit.
It could just be like a liability thing. Like for now, they have to say it's not supported, but they could change that
so
later.
technically it doesn't say it's not supported. It says if you're having issues with mods, or if you're having game issues and are running mods, remove the mods and see if they're still happening, is what their actual thing says.
So
along
basically
those
the
lines.
whole
They're
not
saying,
supporting
hey,
mods thing was
they're
fake news.
It says, hey, we don't support mods. If you're having issues, it's because of the mods more likely than anything else.
Yeah.
But it's a non-answer is how I look at it. Let me go look at it. Oblivion not supporting mods. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
So do you think they're going to use it for ES6 though, this setup?
They'll probably just go fully. There's two school of thought. All right, so
the problem is if they don't, like, what are the odds that ES6 without Unreal looks as good as this?
None. So
None.
here's the
like if it looks worse, people are going to have a bit of a tantrum.
Yeah,
maybe. So here's the exact thing that on Bethesda.com or .net, sorry, it's help.bethesda.net. Does the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered support mods? Mods are not officially supported for the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. If you're experiencing gameplay issues while playing with mods, it is recommended you first try uninstalling mods, then verify your game files on Steam or the Xbox app. Is the exact words that they use. So it doesn't say. It says it's going to be moddable.
Like they could change that later.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds like at the moment we're not doing it.
Yeah, it's just they're not supported right now, is how I read it. More than, mods will never come. So, and anyway, mods are everywhere on Nexus and everywhere else, so it's very moddable still. It took 24 hours for the first nude mod to come out. So, that's impressive. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, just AI helping to be able to make it playable is fantastic to me. Like, it's not even like poor people should, like, games should be optimized. Don't get me wrong, games should always be optimized, but there will always be people who do not meet the requirements, and AI being able to supplement like quality and stuff for more performance is fantastic.
See, I think they're just going to not optimize all and just
probably
rely entirely on the AI, and then people who can't afford good setups, like, it's going to be so reliant on the AI frame generation that even if you have it on, if you have it on and you don't have a good setup, it's still not going to run good, because that's just become like the new baseline.
That's what they did with Indiana Jones, the new Indiana Jones game. They went,
like AI frame generation?
So it's one of the few games that actually supports DLSS 4's frame generation, and
really?
It's like without it, you get like with a 5090, the newest card, the greatest card, which is still pretty bad, but it's like you get 30 FPS without DLSS 4 with frame gen. On Ultra.
So what you're saying is
1440p.
It's already happened. They've already
so at least for this game.
Given up.
Yes. But you put DLSS 4 on and everything max and you're getting like 90 FPS.
Bruh.
Yeah, it's I do agree it is a plight.
Which actually forces you to buy the more expensive newer
So DLSS 4 is being brought to the 40 series and the 30 series.
Oh, so I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, still a lot of people with 11s.
No, actually, so
10s.
officially in the last Steam hardware, well, yes, there are people who still have it, but the most common card is the 3060.
Still screws me out.
Yeah, you're still fucked by it. Most people are good.
Okay.
But it's a win-lose situation in my book.
Yeah.
Or lose
I never
win.
liked the DLSS thing with like reducing your resolution by percent like dynamically. I always thought it made things just look horrible. Like, I'd rather have lower FPS and the maxed out graphics.
I'm fine with like 60. If it's at 60, I'll play with 60. But my issue with Oblivion specifically was it would stutter down to 45 FPS, 30 FPS in the open world every like 5 minutes or so, if not like even less. And that just made for some reason, like gave me vertigo. And I was like, I can't play.
Oh, yeah.
So I was trying to find other sources to fix it. And I was like, all right, let's try FSR with this. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so much better.
I'm surprised they didn't have it on by default, to be honest.
They have DLSS on.
Yeah, but not
by default.
The AI frame.
Because you have to use FSR for the frame general one. DLSS, it doesn't have the access to DLSS 4. Which is crazy to me. But going back to Elder Scrolls 6, there's two ways to go about it. Either A, they just completely port it to Unreal 5. They forsake the engine and just start fresh. Or they do mix it. Which I feel
like they won't. They'll just do pure curation engine, and then it's not going to look as good as Oblivion. It's going to be more dumbed down, and people are just like, "This is just worse than the Oblivion remake. Why would anybody play this?"
Yeah, but let's be honest. Now that they've made this remake, now we're gonna have the Skyrim remake, and
nice.
that's gonna be released on like 8 consoles, and then maybe we'll get Elder Scrolls 6.
I could see them doing that for the 20-year anniversary in 2031. I think they're going to do Fallout 3 next. So obviously this has been a huge...
It's not like it's even Bethesda that makes the remastered either, by the way.
No, it's Virtuoso.
Yeah, it's Virtuoso. So this hasn't affected
them pumping these out.
Yeah.
But they'll still want to time the releases. Like, they're not going to release...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're still doing a Call of Duty.
Too close to ES6,
Yeah. But so in the reveal announcement for the Oblivion, Todd Howard did bring up Elder Scrolls 6 briefly.
What did he say about it?
He just said it's coming, essentially.
Okay. Yeah. We already knew that like years ago.
Yeah.
6 years. If they've actually been working on it for 6 years, there's no way it's on Unreal. There's no way.
Yeah, so it's gonna look worse.
Or be ported to Unreal.
Gonna be more dumbed down than Oblivion.
Okay.
So, like, I could actually see it flopping and people just being like, "Yeah, this is just worse than the Oblivion remake."
So you're a Skyrim pill, Liam. This is what I'll call you, because you didn't really play Oblivion ever. I played Oblivion.
I never played Oblivion.
A lot. Before I accidentally reset my hours, I had 20,000 hours on Oblivion. So.
Yeah, I also am a Skyrim pill. I have not played Oblivion.
But Liam goes in and goes, one of the first messages he sends me is like, "Why did they change the magic system? This is so much better."
Much better. Yeah.
The game feels...
I would like to be able to do the Skyrim magic, but also have the option of doing the Oblivion casting, where I can just have like a hotkey and like cast a quick spell.
I love the Oblivion.
Spell, you have like a weapon out or like a bow is like, that's really cool.
Yeah,
that actually does sound pretty cool.
But then maybe like if you actually have the spells equipped in your hands, you can do it more like powerfully.
No, I much prefer Oblivion's combat over
why not just
Skyrim's.
have more option?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, they were just trying to keep it how it was. So
right, but I'm saying for ES6 or like
ES6, yeah,
definitely be better to like.
I hope they don't go with Skyrim's combat in ES6.
They definitely are, because it's definitely better. What is better about the Oblivion?
Oh, it just feels so much better.
In what way?
Every way. It feels more fluid.
In which, what do you mean by that?
Just it feels fluid within the combat and everything. Like the actual
exactly.
Liam, don't you also play with a mod that changes the combat system?
No, there's not really any good ones. I don't play with any
Yeah.
of these. There's like these like Dark Souls like ones, which are just weird. I hope they don't add a bunch of like rolling and shit. I hate fucking. I hope they don't do that.
They have dodge in Oblivion.
What sort of dodge?
Like
Is that, like, a skill thing?
Yeah, you block and you like hit space while moving, and you dodge out of the way. But that was always in Oblivion.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's like a skill thing.
Yeah. I mean, that was my issue. Is like Skyrim was like you just had access to everything. You like, but in Oblivion you have to actively level your skills to be able to do things like shield bash. You're like, man, I wish there was shield bashing in this game. I went, well, there is. You just have to have level 75 blocking.
I mean, why anybody can smack someone with the shield?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just prefer everything about Oblivion over Skyrim personally.
See,
but I'm also
I think
a bit Oblivion pilled, so
I would say that everyone should have access to the skills, but they get better as you level them up. Like maybe your shield bash at level 1 blocking doesn't really work. People just go right through it. But then at level 75,
it just shakes things up. It's nice to like. I mean, that's basically what the Skyrim one is. You add a bunch of stuff to the skills.
I also just don't like the skill tree in Oblivion or Skyrim. I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan of skill trees, especially Fallout's, like Fallout 4s and Fallout whatever's.
Yes.
I've hated those.
They're just gonna put Path of Exile on ES6.
I'd be okay with that.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, go big or go home. I mean, for real.
Well, Assassin's Creed tried that with Valhalla, and it did not work. People hated that skill tree system.
It has to be the correct kind of game.
Assassin's Creed, they are going fucking wackadoo with that, anyways.
Apparently, this last game did really well.
Well, not in Japan.
Was the last one.
Yeah, that one did really well, except for in Japan.
Oh, no, the Japan one. Fuck that. Oh my god.
I don't even want to talk.
I don't want to talk about Assassin's Creed.
I haven't played an Assassin's Creed since Black Flag. That's been the last good one in my book.
Which is like a really good one.
But I mean, I hope Elder Scrolls 6 is good. I do.
I do too. I really do.
But
I'm going to go back to playing Skyrim.
They should definitely need to bring back some of the more RPG-y things from
like the stats.
Like, I like the dialogue minigame. Like that's a good idea.
Oh, the persuasion?
Do that again.
The persuasion?
Yeah, oh, idea.
Fantastic! You can bribe people.
That does sound really.
I mean,
good.
just like the way the wheels work. Like,
it's great.
They should have expanded on that, not like removed it.
Yeah. So, I literally don't know how Skyrim is. Like, Oblivion has so many fantastic features and things you have to like dig deep to find.
Mm-hmm.
And then Skyrim's just like, here's everything for you. It's just a lot.
And when they start with Skyrim and then Fallout 4, like the default level for your character was like good at things, but before that you were like, if you hadn't put points into things, you were shit at it. You know?
Yeah.
Now, I do know one thing about the Oblivion map is that they did have it to where you can see High Hrothgar from the edge of the map.
Yeah, I heard there were some like changes to like the outside LOD.
Probably.
Yeah, because they didn't know what that map was going to be until Skyrim came out.
Yeah.
So they actually changed the mountain range to see the highest peak in Skyrim,
because it's not that far.
Yeah, because it's over the mountain range. So I at least like that they added stuff and like kept up with it.
So here, I'll put a map of Tamriel in podcast. So that's what the map looks like.
I honestly think if the end game for Elder Scrolls was to have the entire Tamriel be playable.
That's ESO.
Yeah,
it's an MMO,
I guess, but I've never played ESO.
But you can play ESO completely solo as well and just do the story.
I know.
Yeah, it's an MMO. It's kind of gross.
I don't want to play an MMO. I would want to do
I would say if I could get ESO's map and ESO's story, but with Oblivion's combat, I would be so happy.
That'd be cool. So for the next ones, do you think they're going to keep the same scale of map but include more of the world? Or keep it to a single province, but increase the scale, so it's like more detailed. But it's
Do
like
we
the same
know
area on
where the
map.
next one is even set yet, or no?
I don't
People have
think
been
so.
talking about High Rock or Hammerfell.
So we've already had Hammerfell, so that doesn't make sense, and we've had High Rock.
Which one did we have Hammerfell in?
Redguard?
Redguard doesn't count though.
Yes, it
that's not
does.
a mainline one. That's no,
Yeah,
it doesn't. It didn't
Redguard
count.
was Redguard is the Elder Scrolls 2.
Redguard is no, it's not. What are you talking
Yeah, it
about?
is. It's the second game.
Arena's Elder Scrolls 2.
Oh, maybe.
What the fuck are you talking about? Redguard is like the weird spin-off one. That's like a. That's the weird one. Arena's the second one.
No, Arenas is for Daggerfall. I apologize. Daggerfall is what it's called.
Right? Yeah, Arena's the
Arena's
first
Daggerfall.
one, right? Then Daggerfall is the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Redguard is the
Redguard is the weird one. Yeah. I did get it backwards. It was Daggerfall.
Does Redguard even take? It does take place in Hammerfall.
But Daggerfall is also Hammerfell.
I don't even think it takes place in like the whole of Hammerfell. I can't really tell.
Daggerfall, yeah, it does.
No, Hammerfell.
Hammerfell. I have
Redguard.
Yeah, Redguard. I have no idea about. I never played it.
Where does Daggerfall take? Is Daggerfall in Hammerfell?
That's Hammerfell. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's the entirety of Hammerfell.
The ones I was still like, because Arena is the whole map, right?
I think Arena is also the whole map. I think I never played Arena, so I don't know. But Daggerfall had a huge map that would like you could actively walk from one place to the next, and it would take hours.
Yeah.
It has the biggest map in any game, or any of the Elder Scrolls games, I should say.
So I'm looking at it looks like it's High Rock and Hammerfell.
I thought it was.
We've had bay. It's like around that bay in the middle of them.
So we've had Skyrim, we have Cyrodiil, we've had Morrowind, we've had Somerset Isles. We haven't had Valenwood.
The shitty ones in the south. Nobody wants to play a game with a bunch of fucking stinky beast races. You know, they're not going to do fucking Black Marsh.
I have zero clue what it would be.
Elsewhere.
Zero clue. Well, Black Marsh is Dark Elves as well, from what I remember.
Well, it's just a bunch of stinky lizard people. Nobody wants to play in Black Marsh or elsewhere for a full game.
Valenwood is what else? Elsewhere is Khajiits.
Yeah.
Black Marsh.
Like they could be DLC locations, but nobody wants to play a whole fucking game there for a decade.
No.
You want to try a stinky fucking lizards.
I don't know. Maybe they'll have like a couple of the areas all together.
It also just matters which era are they doing.
True.
Because
isn't technically Elder Scrolls Online is the first game because of time period?
It takes place 250 years before Oblivion. Or 500 years, something like that.
So chronologically, it is the first game.
It is the first game, yeah. So, like, when you're playing it, you go to Skyrim, you go to Riften, and it's a very small castle, essentially. It's like a fort. Okay. Which is pretty cool. But yeah, I have zero clue where the next game would take place.
Because, if they've already done, like, half of these locations.
It's Valenwood, Elsewhere, and Black Marsh is the only ones that haven't had a full game on.
I don't know that guarantees they'll do it in those.
True, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It could be like Cyrodiil, Skyrim, and Hammerfell. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah. Would they really go back to Skyrim right again?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, maybe they would.
It's
actually
so popular.
is Skyrim 2.
It's just Skyrim 2.
That'd be fucking crazy.
It would, and I wouldn't put it past them.
Not wrong. I mean, if they redesigned the map and had it at like a higher scale,
it would have it would have to be either like 200 years in the future or like past Skyrim, because I think Skyrim takes place after Oblivion as well, like era wise.
I think they should just pull like what they did with Avatar: The Last Airbender and make it like industrial era. People are starting to drive cars.
That's just the Dwemer.
Yeah, but that society doesn't really exist.
That would be a fun one. Go back to the Dwemer people.
Yeah. I always thought it'd be interesting if they had one where like the Dwemer returned to Tamriel.
True.
Some sort of invasion.
Because is it that they went to space? I can't remember.
I thought it was like, no, they like left on airships or something. But that's just like a rumor or something.
I don't know much about their lore other than that they are like a dwarven race that left.
Yeah, I can't remember where they went. Okay, so elsewhere is a tiny possibility, is what people are seeing.
Bunch of fucking cats. Fuck off.
Oh,
Fuck cats.
or Black Marsh or Valenwood. So what we've been saying.
No, that's just because they haven't done those.
Yeah. Oh no, Black Marsh is probably a no. Yeah, the map doesn't look like Valenwood. Yeah, Valen. It's just the water on the right. Is there any water on the right? And it could be there. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, they all have
elsewhere.
enough peninsulas. It wouldn't really matter where you couldn't tell from like the location of the water. Like elsewhere, Hammerfell and Hyrule all have like peninsulas.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
think the whole game is going to be on the island off of Hammerfell. Just a tiny little island. That's
that
the whole
literally
game.
is what Redguard is.
Is it?
Yeah, it takes place on Stros Mackay.
Also, just literally the starting area of one of the things in ESL. So
Again, I didn't play that.
yeah. Up there. Where is the third one? Oh, there? Right? I don't know. I love ESL. I do have over
Oblivion
1,000 hours
doesn't
played.
cover the whole of Cyrodiil, does it? Like, can you go down to like the stuff
Yeah.
at the bottom?
Yep.
Oh, it does go down there?
Yep.
Okay.
I had to go down there the other day.
Mm.
So all of Cyrodiil is in there. I hate land win.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they did one that like covered an area they already did, but at like a higher scale. Because like if you look at like the lore maps of like Cyrodiil, like the Imperial Sea is supposed to be like a lot bigger.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out at some point.
We'll find out in the next 50 years. We'll find out.
Sometime, yeah.
We'll find out before I die. I'm sure. Hopefully.
Maybe.
Maybe. I
That's
don't know.
debatable.
Oh well.
All right. Is that it for the Oblivion talk?
Yeah,
that's all I have.
What time are we at?
We just passed an hour.
An hour. We could keep going, or we could save some of these subjects.
Well, one of the subjects we can't save because it doesn't exist after
okay,
this
you
week.
Want to talk about that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could do that, and then it'll probably be good to end after that.
Sure.
Okay. So, Star Wars Episode 3 re-release. How are we feeling about that?
Did not know about it.
When I realized it was the 20th anniversary, I thought, oh, they should re-release this, and then oh, no, they are.
And then I told you, hey, yeah, you want to go watch it?
Yeah,
I'm surprised y'all didn't hear it. Like, especially you, Liam, because I know you love Star Wars. I'm surprised you didn't hear it was coming out.
I don't keep up with the news for it anymore because everything's been so horrible.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I've known about this for a while, but I kept forgetting what weekend it was, and then I checked today, and I was like, oh, it's today and tomorrow.
Yeah, I had no idea. Zero clue.
So they've already released a couple of popcorn buckets from different theaters.
Oh, popcorn.
Look, the Dune was the best. That's all I know.
You see,
I don't remember what all the popcorn buckets are, but I know one of them is like it's a drink in Vader's head, or
awesome.
You could eat out of his head. It depends on which theater you go to.
Eat him out.
I can eat out Vader, dude.
Fuck yeah.
So it looks like most of them are going to be just themed buckets.
You're getting the bucket, right?
Yeah, of course.
No way our movie theaters have them.
The one that we're probably going to, probably not. Because I assume, Liam, we're going to the one by your house out over there.
Yeah, we don't want to go to one in North Charleston. I don't want to be shot dead.
Well,
dangerous.
Is it just me and you? It seems like nobody else is going.
I've not heard anything from anybody else. Storm, do you want to go?
I don't really care, honestly. Which one is 3? I don't even know.
Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin becomes Vader.
Storm kills all those kids.
It is.
I don't really care either way.
Storm only wants to watch it if Vader dies in that movie. If the
die.
main character dies, he's all about it.
Is that what you like?
Yeah, I like when the main character dies.
That's why he liked Akame ga Kill.
Yeah. Have you read that, by the way?
I've not read it, but you did tell me about it.
He doesn't die.
He does in the anime.
Does it? Well, no. Technically, he dies in the manga, but he gets reborn as the dragon from the armor, and then he has lots of children with Akame.
Yeah.
So...
What a horrible segue.
Yeah, it is terrible. But okay, let's. So
Sorry.
With episode 3 coming out, do you think they'll do it for another movie, like another?
They did Phantom Menace like 10 years ago, and I saw that.
So as long as they don't ever do it for the 7, 8, 9, as long as that never gets brought up again.
I can't wait for the stupid one, that offshoot one that no one liked, and it retconned a bunch of stuff. I can't wait for that one to be remade and
You're talking about the Ewoks movie?
Maybe?
The Ewok Christmas movie?
No, it's not an Ewok. The Ewok movies.
There is an Ewok Christmas special.
No, the one where they have to steal the plans for the Death Star.
Rogue One?
Rogue One! That one.
No, there's no such thing as an Ewok. There's the holiday special and there's the Ewok movies. They're two totally separate things.
No, Rogue One is the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
Rogue One didn't really retcon a lot of things. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I thought I heard it did. I watched it, but I don't remember.
Same with the Han Solo one. Those are horrible.
I never watched any of those.
I did find it funny. Someone brought this up on Twitter, talking about Han Solo rocks up with Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, his old master, and Chewbacca, who saved one of Anakin's friends, rocks up on his ship, and he's like, "Who the fuck is this Han Solo guy?" Because he knows everybody else.
I think they went too far with the. They went over with actually everybody knows everybody. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have had fucking like Chewbacca on episode 3. That was unnecessary.
Yeah. I guess.
I think it would have been fine if you had any Wookiee that knew Chewbacca who had a correlation, but the one that you see didn't have to correlate.
Didn't in the last one they made Rey like the daughter, like the granddaughter of Palpatine or something?
Yes.
Stupid. Yeah. Oh my god.
That's because every director of those movies had a different plan for the movies, so they don't correlate very well at all.
Do the movies and the books have any correlation at all?
Which books?
Some of them are canon and actually add to the story, and some of them don't.
Some of them used to be
canon,
semi-canon, but were then decanonized.
Oh my god!
Disney. So all the Disney Star Wars books are canon.
So none of the ones I would have read.
Yeah, and the Clone Wars is only now canon because Disney made another season.
Jesus.
So for a long time, it was not considered canon anymore because it was made by Cartoon Network.
Didn't they have one that was like Netflix? They had a Netflix season too.
What?
They might have.
They did. When did they make a Disney season?
When Disney bought the rights to Star Wars, they could have sold it to Netflix, and then Netflix just made it.
Okay,
but it would have still been a Disney thing, technically.
Yeah, they could have just branched out and had it. They didn't have to animate it themselves, kind of thing. Because for like the first, what is it? I think it's 5 seasons for Clone Wars. The first 3 seasons are not considered canon until they made the 4th season.
So weird.
I don't know where to see where they first released.
What, the episodes?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Platform they first released on.
Because I know the first 3 seasons are made by Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
and I think the movie was also made by Cartoon Network.
So the first 6 seasons all happen consecutively 1 year after another. Then the 7th season happens way later in 2020.
Yeah, that's the one that got bought.
Okay.
That it's probably the Netflix one then.
I swear that was a Disney
this one aired on Disney Plus. Okay, so what?
Oh, well, Disney. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2014 was the last one. I think. I think the last one was made by Cartoon Network.
And then
I
there
think
was the
they might have-
Bad Batch too. Don't forget that one.
The Bad Batch. Actually, I've heard is pretty good.
I've never seen it.
So, and I think season 2 or 3 of the Clone Wars, you meet the Bad Batch characters,
Oh.
and then they make a spin-off show with them later on. Because it's the episode where they go to Camino, and then it's talking about the clone facility, and then how some of them are considered the Bad Batch because they're not as good as everybody else.
Which does
Can't keep
not
up
make
with all this shit.
much sense.
No, yeah, the lore for Star Wars is so in depth that like unless you've watched everything,
Too dumb and convoluted. They went
Like,
through this.
Look, if
like-
you make it convoluted, people can't ask questions.
yeah,
You can just be like, go read it. It's out there.
because also like Ahsoka is just the another season for Star Wars Rebels.
They have
Yeah.
They have an Ahsoka.
Yeah, it
show?
only got one
Ahsoka
season.
got her
Oh, no,
own
that's not
show.
quite.
Speaking of fucking overplayed characters, oh my god, she's in fucking
Ahsoka?
everything. Yeah, she's in too much.
So she went from
Yeah,
being nothing to like everything, I think.
She went to being only in the Clone Wars
Yeah.
TV show.
And they literally started like inserting her to everything.
That's because she's a fan favorite.
No, she's a Dave Filoni favorite. Okay,
Yeah.
her little is
Yeah.
his OC Donut Steel fucking fanfic character that he made official.
Then you have Star Wars Resistance, which is terrible.
I've never
I've
watched
never even heard of that. I have
most
no
of them.
fucking clue what
I
you-
think
It
I
is-
watched
It is,
the first 3 seasons of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and that was it. The TV
So-
shows.
Star Wars Resistance came out in 2018. It has 2 seasons, and it is set before episode 7, but after the
boy.
main timeline continuity.
Oh boy.
And it's literally like I've only seen the first episode,
I think I've seen the
And he
first
gets-
episode actually.
and he gets like stuck on this like pirate like scavenger area, lies that he's the greatest pilot in the world, and then ends up joining the Resistance at some point.
Jesus.
Who the fuck are we talking about?
No idea.
The guy from Star Wars Resistance.
Who?
I
don't
think
know.
he's nameless character number 4 in the
Are you
movies.
making shit up?
No.
Liam, this was your bit.
No, this is Nathan's bit.
No,
is
you
my
said
bit.
make up fake shit. This is him doing it.
Oh,
It's not. I'm
no.
literally not making up fake
But
shit.
but here's the funny part. He's not.
Sounds might as
Here,
well be made
let
up.
me. What the fuck? That didn't work. I wanted to do the link, and it did that. Okay. Here's the link to what I'm looking at.
Okay, I don't think I've actually seen this one. Never mind. I think I might have been Rebels I saw.
It because the first episode is Poe Dameron and BB-8.
Who the fuck are you talking about?
They're the characters from the 7th Star Wars movie.
It's horrible.
You know BB-8,
I
the little
can't-
ball boy.
All right, that stupid shit.
Yeah, the orange and white ball boy.
This is giving me fucking brain. I'm getting a brain tumor. Oh, Nathan, what is this you posted? What is Star Wars Resistance? What the fuck is this?
This is the thing he was talking about.
What the fuck is this,
This is
shit?
This is the thing
What
I'm
the
talking
fuck is
about.
this?
Why does it look like an anime?
Yeah, why does this look
It
like
is.
dog
It
shit?
is. It's so bad.
Yeah, why does this look like a shitty 3D anime? What the
It
fuck?
does kind of look like that, and I can't tell you why.
Is this Chinese?
I can't tell you. I didn't look that deep into it. I've
Some
only seen the
dog
first
shit
episode.
vibes from
I
this. Yeah,
I
this is
think this
dog
is
shit.
Chinese.
No, this is just what things from California look like these days.
Oh God.
I mean,
you
Dave
see
Filoni is a
production.
writer and the program editor or program creator for it.
Can you believe people used to think that Dave Filoni was gonna save Star Wars? Oh my god.
See, some of the things he did are okay, and some of them are really bad.
I think he should be. I think they gotta clear him out. They gotta clear him out.
I think we just need to go back to only making Star Wars Lego things.
Honestly, would probably
What
be
does that
better.
mean?
You don't remember all the Star Wars Lego spin-offs they've made?
I got no clue. I don't think I want to know. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah.
with you.
I'm gonna look at them, and I'm gonna count how many Lego spin-offs they've had.
I'm guessing 23.
Are you talking about movies? What are you talking about?
Like,
Games?
no, like TV shows they have made with
What?
Star Wars and Lego.
I've never heard of this.
So
I
they have-
genuinely have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
So there's the one that just came out in September of last year.
What?
There's one that came out August 5th, 2022. One October 1st, 2021.
What the fuck is this shit? I'm looking this up.
The-
What the fuck is
There's
this?
June 20th, 2016 of the Freemakers. I
dog
did
shit.
watch that one.
Read the
There's Droid Tales, which is literally told by R2D2 and C3PO of what
What
they
about the
remember.
original Droid Tales?
I don't know.
I'm about to drop some. You guys know about this, right? The original animated Star Wars droid show.
No.
Oh my god, Star Wars Droids TV series. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but is
Piece of
it
shit.
considered canon anymore? Because all these
No, and
shows.
that's a good thing. That's
Also-
actually a plus these
Also,
days.
I want to tell you something really
Five
bad
one?
about the newest Star Wars Lego show.
It's
Darth
shit.
Jar Jar is a thing.
Fuck off. No, it's
I'm
Lego,
leaving.
It's not canon.
I'm leaving.
No, you can't leave. We have to sign off.
No, I'm
We
leaving.
gotta sign off? I thought we just did a cold close. I thought we just screamed into the void, and then that was the signal.
That's what I
end.
want to do.
Should we all do
The call's the void.
cry into the void? Someone give us a countdown to cry.
3, 2,
You're in
1.
charge of countdowns.
Oh my god. 3, 2, 1.
Ah!
Eh.